Deleted Peppa Pig episode Not George, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. The episode begins as usual. Peppa and George are playing in the garden. Daddy Pig calls them to dinner. Peppa runs into the house first. George stays behind. A minute later, he comes in. But something is wrong with him. He is silent. His pet dinosaur is in his hand, but it is upside down, head down. He does not answer when Peppa speaks to him. He just looks at her for a long time.
George, are you okay?
He blinks once and smiles too widely.
Yeah, Peppa.
The voice sounds like it was recorded on tape and played in reverse. In the night, Peppa wakes up to see George standing in the doorway of her room. He is not moving. He is just breathing too loudly. The next morning, she tells her parents. Mummy Pig says,
"But Peppa, George is asleep in his room all night."
Peppa runs to check. George is indeed asleep in bed, but behind the curtain there are scratches on the wall, thin even, for the number of nights that have passed. In the final scene, the camera pans to the entire family at the table. Everyone is eating, except George. He turns to the viewer and his eyes do not reflect the light. He whispers,
"I'm back." But it wasn't him who left.
The episode begins at night. Peppa wakes up to a strange sound. The telephone in the kitchen, an old rotary one, is ringing. She slowly walks downstairs. The kitchen is dark. The light doesn't turn on. The telephone continues to ring, slowly, drawn-outly, as if waiting. Peppa picks up the phone. Silence, and then her own voice. "You shouldn't have answered." The line is cut off. The next morning, everything in the house is as usual, except for one thing. No one remembers that they have a telephone. "It's gone," Peppa tells her mother. Mummy Pig turns silently and says, "What did you dial?" "I didn't dial, so he got through." The house gets quieter every day. The photos on the walls first faded, then disappeared. And Peppa began to hear the ringing more and more often, inside, in her ears. In the final scene, she goes down to the kitchen again at night. The phone is lying on the floor, without a cord. It rings. She picks it up. The screen says, "You answered. Now you speak." Then and the last trembling ringing behind you. Deleted Peppa Pig episode peppa.exe, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. There is a rumor on the internet about a strange file. It's called peppa.final.avi. They say you can't just find him. It appears on its own. For those who watch too much. Those who have seen all the episodes in a row, without a break. No sleep. In the video, Peppa stands in the middle of an empty room. No background, no furniture, just a white space. She's not moving. He just blinks, too rarely. After a minute, the camera starts shaking. The background noise turns into a low hum. Peppa tilts her head to the side. "Are you still watching?" "What is it?" she asks in a voice that comes from four corners of the screen at once. Her eyes start to turn black, as if holes are opening in them. She takes a step forward, but she doesn't move. You're the one approaching her. You can't look away. Other figures appear in the background, Mom and Dad. But they have empty mouths, black spots, and skin as gray as ash. They open their mouths, and the same sound is heard. Your voice, recorded with distortion. Peppa raises her hand and points at the screen. Your window is the last one. The file is ending, but the screen doesn't go off. He's showing me your room. Right now. And on the monitor screen is Peppa standing behind your back. Deleted Peppa Pig episode, The House Peppa Drew, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. This episode starts unusually. No intro, just a black screen and the sound of a pencil scratching on paper. Slowly, the image appears. Peppa is sitting alone at a table, drawing a house. It looks strange. Too many windows, and in each one, eyes. Peppa's voice sounds muffled as if underwater. I drew him, and now he's here. The screen glitches. The scene shifts to her room. Everything is darker than usual. Outside the window, it's not night, just emptiness. Mummy and Daddy Pig enter the room, but they have no faces. Their snouts are smooth like broken toys. Who gave you the paper, Peppa? They ask at the same time. I didn't take it. He left it himself, she says. The camera pans. On the floor, the same drawing of the house. But now the door is slightly open. The whole next day, Peppa hears creaks. First in the hallway, then in the closet, then right under the bed. She's afraid to sleep. When she finally does, she dreams of entering the drawn house. The next day, the drawing is gone. In its place, a new picture she doesn't remember drawing. It's her house, but in the window stands another Peppa, and she's smiling. Her eyes are completely black. Final scene. Peppa is drawing again, but her hand is no longer pig-like. It's long, thin, with puppet-like fingers, and she whispers, "Now it's your turn to draw the door." Deleted Peppa Pig episode, Silhouette at the Window, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. The episode starts unusually. Peppa is standing by the window, staring outside. Outside, there's nothing but gray fog, no sun, no trees, just a solid wall of mist. Peppa doesn't move. She just stands there. 1 minute, 2, 3. Then she speaks. He's there again. The camera slowly pans to the window. In the fog, a silhouette. Tall, black with a long neck and eyes that don't blink. Mummy Pig enters the room. Peppa, who are you talking to? Peppa turns her head. He said you're all lying. Mummy Pig smiles, but far too wide. No, darling. We just don't want you to remember. The episode suddenly cuts. Just for a second, we see a distorted frame. Peppa's house completely upside down, like a reflection in water. The next scene, Peppa is sleeping. The camera slowly zooms in on her face. Suddenly, she opens her eyes and speaks directly to the viewer. You saw the window too, didn't you? Then he's already coming for you. The screen goes black. The screen lights up again, as if a lot of time has passed. Peppa is once again at the window, but now the whole family is standing behind her. Everyone is silent. They all stare into the fog. Daddy Pig whispers, "He's already close. We can't stop him anymore." The camera turns. Outside the window, a face. Huge, pale, with empty eye sockets. It gets closer without blinking. Suddenly, the fog begins to seep into the house through the cracks like smoke. The walls creak. Peppa turns to the camera. He says you've been watching too long. He sees you. Through the glass, through the screen. The house shakes. Mummy, Daddy, and George begin repeating, "He's at the window. He's at the window. He's at..." Then the lights go out. Complete darkness. Final message. If you're still here, he's already inside. Deleted Peppa Pig episode Open Your Mouth, which was never showed on TV. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to see more interesting videos. Peppa is drawing in her room. Suddenly she stops and slowly lifts her head. Her eyes widen, pupils nearly vanished. She whispers, "He says he wants to come out." Peppa walks to the kitchen. Mummy and Daddy Pig are sitting at the table, unmoving. Their faces look stretched like wax masks. They speak in unison. "Don't open your mouth, Peppa. He's not ready yet." Peppa begins to tremble. He's asking. He's already inside. Her body jerks as if something is pushing from within. There's a sound, whispering but reversed. She opens her mouth. But what's inside isn't her teeth. Deep in her throat, there's a face. "Are you?" "Then I see you too." The screen flickers. In the next scenes, Peppa walks through the house with her mouth clamped shut, but from inside you can hear scratching. In the final scene, she stands in front of the mirror. Slowly, very slowly, she begins to open her mouth. The camera zooms in. From the darkness within, the same face reappears, closer now. It smiles and says, "Now it's your turn to open your mouth. He will come out if you let him." Deleted Peppa Pig episode Peppa's Song, which was never showed on TV. The episode begins as usual. Peppa wakes up and cheerfully sings her morning song. But her voice sounds strange, like it's coming from an old tape with crackling and static. She walks through the house, repeating the chorus again and again. Peppa sings, Peppa sings. A brand new day begins. But something feels off. When she walks into the kitchen, Mummy and Daddy Pig are sitting at the table, not moving. Their faces are stretched into unnatural smiles, their eyes unblinking. And every time Peppa sings her chorus, their heads slightly tilt. Peppa sings, heads tilt left. Peppa sings, heads tilt right. A brand new day. They both look at her in perfect sync. Peppa starts to get scared. Daddy, Mummy, but they stand up at the same time and slowly begin to walk toward her, still smiling. Peppa runs outside. The playground is empty. Only a faint humming is heard, a slow, distorted version of her song. Suddenly, speakers on the light poles turn on. Her own voice plays from them, warped and looping. Peppa sings, Peppa sings, Peppa sings. She covers her ears, but the voice is now inside her head. When she returns home, she sees herself, standing in the doorway, singing. The other Peppa turns around and has no mouth, just a gaping hole with the song pouring out of it. The screen fades to black. Somewhere in the distance, the voice continues. "Remember this note. Now it's your turn to sing." Deleted Peppa Pig episode The Mirror, which was never showed on TV. The episode begins with Peppa brushing her teeth in the bathroom. She hums cheerfully. Everything seems normal. When she finishes and looks up at the mirror, she notices something strange. The reflection isn't moving with her. Peppa starts making silly faces, but the reflection stays still. She blinks. The reflection doesn't. It smiles, but not a normal smile, a crooked, far too wide grin. Peppa runs to her mum. "Mummy, my mirror is broken." But Mummy Pig just keeps cooking dinner without turning around. Peppa touches her hand. The skin is pale and cold. Her eyes don't blink. "Mummy?" Silence. Peppa slowly backs away and goes upstairs. Every mirror in the house now shows a different Peppa. One with a creepy grin. One scratching the inside of the glass as if trying to get out, and one just standing and staring. Suddenly, all the mirrors crack at once, but none of them shatter. Each reflected Peppa starts whispering in unison, "Let us in. This isn't your home anymore." Peppa turns to run, but the house has changed. The hallway stretches endlessly. The lights flicker. Outside the windows, a blood-red sky. Somewhere within the walls, she hears George crying. Finally, at the end of the long hallway, one last mirror. In it, she sees herself. The mirrored Peppa steps forward and presses her hand against the glass. The screen starts glitching. The real Peppa is now inside the mirror. She bangs on the glass, but no one hears. The fake Peppa turns around and walks away. Sudden blackout. You're next.